Let's dive right into the mechanics of behavioral change. Just think about New Year's resolutions for a second. Every January, millions of us set these massive, incredibly ambitious goals, only to completely abandon them by February. So why does this happen? Well, we're constantly fed this idea that massive success requires massive action. We convince ourselves that to get profound results, we literally have to make radical overnight shifts. But the truth is actually far more subtle and honestly profoundly more powerful. In this explainer, we're taking a comprehensive look at a concept that fundamentally redefines personal growth: atomic habits. We're going to break down exactly how tiny, seemingly invisible daily changes compound into remarkable, life-altering results. Because understanding the true underlying mechanics of human behavior, that's really the only reliable path to lasting transformation.
To guide us through this, here's our agenda for today. We'll start with the power of tiny changes, then move into identity-based habit formation. After that, we'll break down the 4-step habit loop, look at some practical, real-world applications, and wrap up with actionable steps you can take today.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the power of tiny changes, building the foundation.
So the word atomic actually carries a really vital dual meaning here. First, an atomic habit is a tiny change, a marginal gain, or just a 1% improvement. It's incredibly small. But secondly, think about what an atom is. It's the fundamental unit of a larger system. Just like atoms build molecules, atomic habits are the foundational building blocks of remarkable results. To really grasp this impact, we have to look at the absolutely unprecedented transformation of the British cycling team. For almost 100 years, British riders had, well, a record of profound mediocrity. But then, leadership shifted to a strategy based entirely on the aggregation of marginal gains. They started looking for tiny 1% improvements in places everyone else ignored. We're talking redesigning bike seats for comfort, rubbing alcohol on tires for better grip, testing different massage gels for faster muscle recovery, and even figuring out the absolute best pillow for each specific rider's sleep. These tiny atomic changes accumulated way faster than anyone imagined, leading to staggering dominance at the Olympics and the Tour de France. These weren't just small adjustments, they became the foundation of a completely overhauled behavioral system.
37 times. That right there is the mathematical certainty of compound interest when you apply it to human behavior. Think about it. If you can get just 1% better each day for a single year, you're going to end up 37 times better by the time you're done. On the flip side, if you get 1% worse every day for a year, your skills will decline pretty much all the way down to zero. Now, the real challenge here is the psychology behind this math. Because a 1% change is practically invisible on a day-to-day basis, we easily dismiss it, right? You study a new language for an hour, but you still aren't fluent. You eat a salad for lunch, but you step on the scale and look exactly the same. This lack of immediate visible feedback often drops us right into a valley of disappointment, making it so easy to slide back into our old routines. We really have to recognize that bad habits compound just as easily as good ones, precisely because that daily cost is completely imperceptible. Habits are literally the compound interest of self-improvement. They reward patience and consistency over time.
Which brings us to section 2, identity-based habit formation, changing who you are.
To understand the absolute root of lasting change, we have to look at how we frame our goals. Outcome-based habits focus entirely on what you want to achieve. Things like losing weight, reading a certain number of books, or saving money. You pick a target and you work toward it. But identity-based habits, those focus on who you wish to become. True, lasting behavioral change really has to stem from an internal shift in how you see yourself. Let's look at a person trying to quit smoking. When offered a cigarette, someone focused on the outcome might say, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." Sounds reasonable, but it implies they still fundamentally believe they're a smoker who is just trying to do something different right now. On the other hand, an identity-focused person would decline by simply saying, "No thanks, I am not a smoker." It's a really small shift in language, but it signals a monumental shift in identity. The goal isn't just to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. When your habits actually align with a newly adopted identity, you aren't just chasing a temporary result anymore. You are acting in accordance with who you already are.
Let's move on to section 3, the 4-step habit loop, the mechanics of change.
Now we're going to break down the explicit anatomy of a habit. Every single habit you have, whether it's incredibly constructive or completely destructive, goes through exactly 4 stages in the exact same order. Number 1, the cue. Number 2, the craving. Number 3, the response. And number 4, the reward. Grasping this precise sequence is absolutely crucial because it's the invisible framework governing every single human habit.
To summarize how these all connect, the cue triggers a craving, which motivates a response, which provides a reward. This whole process functions as an inescapable neurological feedback loop. Let's use a very basic, universal example to really illustrate this. Imagine you walk into a dark room. The darkness itself serves as the cue. That visual information instantly triggers a craving, the immediate desire to be able to see. This internal motivation leads directly to the response, which is the physical action of reaching out and flipping a light switch. And finally, that provides the reward. The room is illuminated, your desire to see is totally satisfied, and that initial tension is resolved. Every habit operates on this exact same axis. The cue predicts a reward. The craving provides the motivational drive. The response is the action itself. And the reward is the end goal. It's a package deal. If a behavior is lacking in any of these 4 stages, it simply won't become a habit. If you remove the cue, your habit never even starts. If you reduce the craving, you won't have enough drive to act. Make the behavior too difficult and you literally won't be able to do it. And if the reward doesn't satisfy your desire, well, you'll have absolutely no reason to do it again in the future.
With those theoretical mechanics laid out, let's look at Section 4, Practical Real-World Applications, Putting Theory into Practice.
The best part is, we can methodically manipulate this 4-step loop to our absolute advantage. Take the super common modern problem of mindless scrolling on your phone. The atomic solution here is to just hide your phone in another room while you work. By doing this, you are effectively removing the cue. Out of sight literally means out of mind, entirely cutting off the habit loop before it can even begin. What about the constant struggle of skipping morning workouts? The trick is to lay out your gym clothes the night before. This drastically simplifies the response. By removing the friction of having to dig around for your clothes at 6 a.m., you make the good habit incredibly easy to execute. Or maybe your challenge is eating junk food. If you intentionally design your environment to only stock healthy snacks in your pantry, you completely change the reward that's available to you. Listen, environment design will always triumph over raw willpower. By deeply understanding those 4 discrete steps of the habit loop, you can systematically dismantle your bad habits and reverse engineer lasting good ones.
Which brings us right to our final section, actionable steps for today, immediate implementation.
Here is your immediate, actionable playbook to put all of this into practice. First, identify just one tiny 1% improvement you can make today. Keep it exceptionally small. By restricting your initial effort to just 1%, you guarantee it's sustainable and completely avoid that early burnout that derails so many ambitions. Second, clearly define the identity you want to embody. Decide exactly the type of person you want to be and make sure your new habits serve as actual evidence of that evolving identity. Third, systematically map out the cue, craving, response, and reward for a single new habit you want to build. Write it down so the whole mechanism is highly visible. And finally, alter your environment to make good habits easier and bad habits far more difficult. You want to design your surroundings so that doing the right thing literally becomes the path of least resistance.
All of this data, the theory, the structural framework, it all fundamentally culminates in one incredibly vital question. Who will your habits make you today? Every single action you take is essentially a vote for the type of person you wish to become. So start small, focus on that 1%, and let the undeniable mechanics of change work in your favor. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.